organized is a great way to detox your life. Kirsten Fisher, the founder and CEO of Imagine Home Organization, is here to help. Kirsten, what a pleasure it is to meet you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So let's talk about getting organized. I mean, doctors will come on this show and say there is a direct link between your depression, anxiety, and just your overall well-being that can be obtained simply by organizing your life.
People feel overwhelmed in their houses when they can't find what they need, they can't access the things that they want, and it doesn't feel like a calm space, and they feel ashamed to have people over to get that connection, and they don't feel great in their house.
It's true, it's true. And you and I were joking as we were getting ready for this segment, like, my husband organizes like this, and I organize like this. I think for some of us, it's just, in my mind, I can't figure out the best system for how to do this. So it's not like I don't want to be organized, I just don't know, like, how do you make this happen?
And people find that a lot, and a lot of people feel a lot of shame around that they can't get organized and they can't figure out, why can't I do this? But really, it's a skill like anything else, and if you're not taught the basics of the skill, you're not going to know how to do it. But that doesn't mean you can't learn it. It's not rocket science. It's just learning those basic things.
And maybe even having like somebody like yourself come in and set somebody up for success, because once you have it all laid out, then it's easy to know, oh, I put my tape here, I put my this here. You have a system in place.
Yes, and I often use the example of the silverware drawer. Almost everyone has a silverware drawer, and everyone's silverware is organized.
It's true.
Because you have the right system in place, and it's just a matter of expanding that system to all the areas of your house.
All right, so talk me through what we have here.
Okay, so we use this kind of drawer as a simple area, but this same principles apply to your garage, to your closet, to your kitchen, to every area of your home. But when you want to get organized, there's really basically 3 easy steps. You want to sort, you want to edit, you want to define a home. So sorting means you're just going to pull every single thing out of the drawer and you're going to put them into categories. So if it's a junk drawer like this, you're going to put your pens and pencils in one category and your writing tools in another, and the glue and the keys and all the different things that you might find. If it's your closet, you're going to put all of your tank tops in one, all of your sweaters in one, and then maybe you go as far as color coding or do things like that, but not necessary just to be organized. And then once you have your categories, you want to edit. So you don't probably need everything, especially in a junk drawer. You're going to find, why did I put that there? How did that get there?
Yeah, we call it the everything drawer.
Yes. So it might be that you don't need it anymore. It might be that it just doesn't really need to live in the space that it is right now. So you'd have the category of this stuff needs to be discarded. These things maybe someone else could use and could be donated. And then also, this just needs to live in another place in my house. And so then once you have your final categories of things, then you want to define where are they going to live. So in a drawer like this, these containers help us define really specific categories, like my tape's going to go here, my paper clips are going to go here, my staplers are going to go there. And that could be the same in a pantry. These are where my breakfast items are going to go. This is where all my pasta is going to go. Or in your closet, you know, these are where my shoes are going to live. These are where my sweaters are going to live. And then when you're putting things away, it's easy to know exactly where it's going to go, so it's going to be faster, and you're not using a lot of mental energy thinking about, like, where am I going to put this?
Exactly. So true, so true. Talk to me about, organizational, items like this, these dividers. I mean, you really kind of need to know your drawers and measuring them, I would imagine, before you start putting all of this together. Or are these just like pieces that you just can assemble and see what fits in?
The good thing is about these kind of things, and what we do with bins, is kind of get a few different things to figure out, like in a drawer, what's going to work really well. There's often going to be like a little gap like this, right? Like one more doesn't exactly fit, and that's okay. You can find something to put in that space and kind of take up that home. But it often is a good idea to kind of do those first couple of steps, doing the sorting and the editing first, and then see, okay, what containers do I need? What needs a very specific home, or what might just live on the shelf? But what we do find is the specific containers help maintain the space. So you might say, on this shelf, I'm going to keep my books and my notebooks. But what happens is, if it's not very specific, they tend to move around a lot, right?
Yes.
And then you think, well, I organized that shelf last week and now it's a mess again. But if you have a very specific, like, oh, it's going to go in this bin or this binder, then when it has a specific home, it tends to stay there.
Yeah, the same holds true for your closet. Now, getting organized can be extremely overwhelming to the point that a lot of people just don't do it because they can't even get past the mental barrier that they have to dive in. Are you thinking like one drawer a day, one step at a time? I mean, what's your methodology?
So really the thing is you want to, I think a lot of people think like, I'll just kind of glance over something and I'll pull out the things that I don't need, and then they don't feel fully satisfied. Whatever space you want to do, and if you want to start super small and start with one drawer, that's okay. If you want to start with your whole closet or whole space, you really need to pull everything out because that's going to give you that clear picture. And that's sometimes why people need a little help. It's kind of overwhelming to look at the space and think like, okay, what do I do next? But if you really just follow the system, like first I pull everything out, then I sort it. And I'm not thinking about the next step. When I'm pulling things out, I'm not already thinking about editing because that, again, overwhelm, one thing at a time. First, I'm just gonna get it all pulled out. Then I'm gonna sort it into categories. Don't think about anything else. And now, once it's sorted, let me think about what's gonna be left.
Go to town.
Yeah.
Kirsten, this has been so interesting. Thank you so much for joining us on
Thank you.
Bloom today. It's been a pleasure. We're gonna post these decluttering tips on our website so you can eliminate the stress in your life.